apples, bananas, cakes, sandwiches, and vegetables. We drink milk and juice. Anything that we eat or drink is called food. Food helps our body to grow. Food keeps us healthy and helps us fight diseases. To be healthy, we must eat the right food in the right quantity. Food helps us to become and remain strong. Food gives us energy to think, play, and work. We cannot live without food. 3 important groups of food. Bodybuilding food. Some types of food like milk, eggs, dals like moong dal, tur dal, masoor dal, and cereals help our body to grow by building our bones and muscles. These are known as bodybuilding foods. Energy food. Some types of food like rice, potato, bread, cheese, butter, and sugar give us energy. Protective food. Some types of food give us strength to fight diseases. These are known as protective food. Fruits and vegetables are protective food.
I often get asked, why should I read more? Why would I bother reading a book when I can just watch a video summary of it? It's true, you can save some time this way, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and you can't train your body by just watching YouTube videos. So let's get straight to the facts. Reading improves your focus and concentration. Reading, much like running or listening to music, can be a form of meditation. With all the distractions nowadays, people have really big problems with concentrating. Don't be one of them. In a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their time between working on a task, checking email, chatting with a couple of people and using their smartphone. This type of behavior causes stress levels to rise and lowers our productivity. When you read a book, all your attention is focused on the story. The rest of the world is closed off and you immerse yourself in every fine detail you're absorbing. Try reading for 15 to 20 minutes before work and you'll be surprised at how much more focused you are once you get to the office. It's also a great relaxation technique. Have you ever felt so tense to the point you dreamt of escaping your life for a while? Surprise! You actually can. You don't need a plane ticket to the other side of the globe. A great book can take you all the way to another dimension. Many people overthink their problems when all they need is a break, so that they could go back to searching for a solution with a clear, relaxed mind. So you're stressed out? Then pick up the goddamn book. Research conducted in 2009 showed that reading is the most effective way to overcome stress, beating out old favorites such as listening to music, enjoying a cup of tea or coffee, or even taking a walk. Measured by evaluating heart rate and muscle tension, it took the study participants just 6 minutes to relax once they started turning pages. So when you lose yourself in a book, you can simply forget all your daily worries. That's assuming you aren't forced to read and aren't reading any heavy texts like legal papers. Scientific studies show that reading actually makes you smarter. Your body needs movement, that means your brain needs movement as well, and reading is the best workout for your mind. It's demanding in a neurological way, plus it requires concentration and intellectual activity. Mental stimulation can slow down the process of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, keeping your brain sharp as you age. Reading is healthy, just like a morning run, so find time for it. Also, everything you read fills your head with new bits of information, and you never know when it might come in handy. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to tackle any challenge you'll ever face. Additionally, if you ever find yourself in dire circumstances, remember that although you might lose everything else, your job, your possessions, your money, even your health, your knowledge can never be taken from you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.
My name is Matthew Walker. I am a professor of neuroscience and psychology at the University of California, Berkeley, and I am the author of the book, Why We Sleep. We certainly know that a lack of sleep will actually prevent your brain from being able to initially make new memories. So it's almost as though without sleep, the memory inbox of the brain shuts down and you can't commit new experiences to memory. So those new incoming informational emails are just bounced and you end up feeling as though you're amnesic. You can't essentially make and create those new memories. We also know that a lack of sleep will lead to an increased development of a toxic protein in the brain that is called beta amyloid, and that is associated with Alzheimer's disease, because it is during deep sleep at night when a sewage system within the brain actually kicks into high gear and it starts to wash away this toxic protein, beta amyloid. So if you're not getting enough sleep each and every night, more of that Alzheimer's related protein will build up. The more protein that builds up, the greater your risk of going on to develop dementia in later life. What are the effects of sleep deprivation on the body? Well, there are many different effects. Firstly, we know that sleep deprivation affects the reproductive system. We know that men who are sleeping just 5 to 6 hours a night have a level of testosterone which is that of someone 10 years their senior. So a lack of sleep will age you by almost a decade in terms of that aspect of virility and wellness. We also know that a lack of sleep impacts your immune system. So after just one night of 4 to 5 hours of sleep, there is a 70% reduction in critical anti-cancer fighting immune cells called natural killer cells. And that's the reason that we know that short sleep duration predicts your risk for developing numerous forms of cancer. And that list currently includes cancer of the bowel, cancer of the prostate, as well as cancer of the breast. In fact, the link between a lack of sleep and cancer is now so strong that recently the World Health Organization decided to classify any form of nighttime shift work as a probable carcinogen. So in other words, jobs that may induce cancer because of a disruption of your sleep-wake rhythms. We also know that a lack of sleep impacts your cardiovascular system, because it is during deep sleep at night that you receive this most wonderful form of effectively blood pressure medication. Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure goes down. If you're not getting sufficient sleep, you're not getting that reboot of the cardiovascular system. So your blood pressure rises. You have, if you're getting 6 hours of sleep or less, a 200% increased risk of having a fatal heart attack or a stroke in your lifetime. There is a global experiment that is performed on 1.6 billion people twice a year, and it's called daylight savings time. And we know that in the spring, when we lose 1 hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks the following day. Another question perhaps is, what is the recycle rate of a human being? how long can we actually last without sleep before we start to see declines in your brain function or even impairments within your body? And the answer seems to be about 16 hours of wakefulness. Once you get past 16 hours of being awake, that's when we start to see mental deterioration and physiological deterioration in the body. We know that after you've been awake for 19 or 20 hours, your mental capacity is so impaired that you would be as deficient as someone who is legally drunk behind the wheel of a car. So if you were to ask me what is the recycle rate of a human being, it does seem to be about 16 hours, and we need about 8 hours of sleep to repair the damage of wakefulness. Wakefulness essentially is low-level brain damage.
Do you have skin in the game? Research estimates that at least 1 million deaths worldwide could be prevented each year if everyone washed their hands regularly. Hands are the way 80% of germs in our healthcare environment are spread. Each month, 25 children develop infections while staying at Cincinnati Children's. The source of many of these infections may be the hands of their care providers. Norovirus, the same kind of stomach bug that is broken out on cruise ships, can survive on surfaces for days, even weeks. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers do not work against norovirus. Now, here's a bit of bathroom chalkboard trivia. Did you know researchers have found that as many as 1/3 of women and 2/3 of men will leave a restroom without washing their hands? The potential for transmitting disease-causing germs is enormous. If you have a respiratory virus or flu, you can spread germs just by coughing, sneezing, or talking. Even if you're not sick, but you touch infected surfaces and then touch your eyes, nose, or mouth, you can be infected. The most common place to carry staph bacteria is in your nose, so make an effort to avoid touching your face. And if you do, make sure you wash your hands. Did you know that 95% of cell phones carry contagious staph bacteria, E. coli, and a host of other germs? Hand hygiene is essential. Ready for some good news? Hand washing has been proven to reduce sick days by as much as 30%. So washing your hands can actually increase productivity in the workplace. Did you ever wonder if you could be the source of illness for your family? The risk is certainly lower if you wash your hands often. It's your responsibility as a Cincinnati Children's employee to understand why good hand hygiene is so important. Show that you respect your patients, your colleagues, your family, and yourself by practicing good hand hygiene all the time. You do have skin in the game.